Hello everybody, my name is Dratnos, and welcome to the Priory of the Sacred Flame, another 3-boss dungeon. So we got a lot of 3-boss dungeons here in More Within. Love it. Absolutely love it. 3-boss dungeons are so much fun. Short dungeons, nice, quick, 20 to 30 minute adventures instead of 30 to 40 minute adventures. Huge dub, IMO. This dungeon has a bunch of cool stuff with it as well. A bunch of cool different, pseudo or options, but not, without being a huge open area where you could pull absolutely anything you want. So first off, you need to break your way into the kind of courtyard area here. We've got knights, we've got footmen. That's the main things that make up this area. And nothing here is too bad. There's an impale dot. There's a mortal strike. That's a mortal strike. Does stack all the way up to healing immune as well if you're not careful. So if you do what Dorky does here and you pull the whole area, you will become healing immune. And that is not good. There's also these sharpshooters that put down these huge sets of traps that, just absolutely litter the ground with traps that is hard to avoid. So you can see us pulling this whole area here. Quite a bit of danger. In particular, Dorky, 7 stacks now, Mortal Strike. His death strikes are not healing him for much. I'm not really able to heal him for that much. I'm playing a Ancestor Resto Shaman thing for this particular video. Actually, a very fun hero talent tree, a very fun build. I'm not even playing it particularly well, but I was having a good time with it. Yeah, Dorky now healing immune. As we do barely almost finish off this pull, everything's getting very low. The situation is it was a large pull. It's probably a little bit much to bite off there, but we do get through it. These cool bubbles you can see on me, that's when my ancestors are expiring, and they give a nice a shield that kind of diminishes over time after they go away. But yeah, I mean, sweet spec, extremely fun. You get through this area probably not in one pull, probably in 2, although maybe you could do it in 1 pull if you're a little bit more disciplined with it, if you have a little bit more of a plan for how you want to get through it. We do eventually get through it, so, scoreboard, it worked out. This little light orb in the middle is kind of interesting. It's, when you click on it, it's oh, perhaps somebody that knows holy magic can use this. And I think that's probably priests and paladins that are able to use that and get themselves a nice damage buff of some kind from clicking on that. I unfortunately can't. There's a guard captain Suleiman here that is, I believe, a mini-boss. Maybe worth some good count. It does a big knockback on the tank there. You can see it just bops the tank nice and far away. A little baseball bat, shield slam type thing. Tremendous strength on that knockback. There's this thunderclap as well. It's another mob that does a thunderclap that is a movement speed and haste reduction to people nearby. So grats melee. It's happening again. Then you have the option between heading up these steps to the left or the right. Now, as we approach the first boss here, Captain Dalecry, there is a very interesting mechanic with mini-bosses here. The last dungeon we looked at, the Dawnbreaker, had a sort of similar idea. The boss is accompanied by 2 guards, and those guards each give a big damage amp to each other while they're both there. But if you remove one of those guards, then the other guard no longer has the big damage amp, and the boss doesn't get a damage amp from either of them being there. So you could just fight the boss with 2 guards that are each dealing 200% increased damage and just nuke them down, maybe. Or you can distract the guards, and each of the guards will be distracted if you go and kill a mini-boss that's over to the side here. So you can see on the mini-map we have these 2 mini-bosses as everybody is just absolutely dying to these bleeds. There's these war lynxes here that just do big bleeds on everybody. So yeah, there's a mini-boss down to the side there with all these people praying in front of I guess her over there. Amping them up with big holy power off to the side. Or over here, we just got some mages, some priests, some footmen. And we decide, all right, we're not going to pull that mini boss. Let's just walk our way towards this boss here. We'll do a big pull. This is, a scary pull. We've got a bunch of sharpshooters in here and casters, war lynxes as well. The war lynxes putting on these bleeds on people. I'm just in tremendous danger here as I keep getting pounced on by the war lynxes. This bleed is stacking up on me, so this is going to be another dungeon where Dwarf is just tremendously good. I suspect this expansion, if you are trying to push high Mythic Plus keys and you're not playing Dwarfs on most or all of your group, you're going to be, even potentially more than Dragonflight. You're going to really feel it, which that's something I'm not a fan of, but it is, I guess, something that maybe some people are a fan of. I'm not sure. But yeah, Dwarf really OP for removing all of those stacks of that bleed. Ankh also works once per 30 minutes instead of once per 2 minutes. But yeah, we get that pull dealt with eventually. I go find, I guess my mana drink. Yeah, a little bit low on mana. So yeah, here's the boss. And you can see that the 200% increased damage done for the two like side bosses. I don't think the boss itself actually gets that buff though. Maybe it's supposed to, but I don't think it was in this run. So we kind of sneak around the back here, and we're going to head to the other side and fight the mini-boss on the other side. But you could, of course, just go up one side, kill the mini-boss on that side, instead of doing this loop around the back thing. This loop around the back thing, unnecessary. That's something we're kind of just doing because we're, testing. Unfortunately here, our tank has run ahead, and there's patrols here that we are pulling mysteriously with our tank not being here. And there's mobs over on the side that we're pulling mysteriously with our tank not being here. So this pull gets really, really bad really quick, mostly due to a combination of our tank running ahead without, the group, and then our group pulling a bunch of stuff, trying to catch up. Very bad. So we end up wiping here, but obviously that is not a dungeon problem. That's an us problem. That was just very poor play. So let's just get back. We make our way back. This time we head up the right-hand stairs. A lot of patrols in this dungeon. So very easy to kind of get yourself in a position where there's patrols ahead of you, patrols behind you, and we end up pulling both, as often happens in that type of situation. So again, if you're a pug tank this expansion, I think the name of the game is going to be just pull every patrol ahead of you rather than trying to sneak past it and then having it back pull behind you when you're not ready for it. Here we only fight two patrols at once. Very doable, but dangerous still. Dangerous area. Handling the patrols and fighting the patrols rather than like fighting the side packs and trying to skip the patrols, I think is going to be by far your best bet if you're in any kind of pug situation where people can't be relied upon to be looking behind them and not pulling the extra patrols. Then we make our way up to this mini boss here. So this one, Forge Master, has not too much in the way of super dangerous abilities, not too much in the way of health either for us in this dungeon. Again, that's just alpha tuning stuff. But yeah, has the Seal of Flame, Heat Wave ability that's just putting a little dot on everybody. Or actually, I think that was maybe just a damage taken increase on everybody. Fire Swirlies, not really too much to speak of here in terms of like stuff going on. As it dies, it yells, "Oh, invaders have infiltrated the forge." And so the boss is like, okay, we're going to send one person to go and secure the forge, which, there's not a lot of army camps in the world you can walk into and like just go methodically kill a couple people at a time and then they'll be like, "Oh, somebody's here killing one person at a time. Let's go send one more person at them." Like that's not usually a good strat, but World of Warcraft logic often has enemies doing that. So they do that here, and you can kill off Elena here, the mini-boss. Another patrol has joined the party, as it so often does. And Elena, separated from the other mini-boss, very harmless, very, very nice and easy. And once we've killed that one mini-boss, now that boss is accompanied only by one, guard. And that 200% damage buff that it had is now gone as well. So it's very feasible to fight it. It's particularly if you have Lust, but we sent our Lust on that pull we were wiping, and it's still all good. And if you look here, you can see no buff, right? No debuff now on this person, no debuff on the boss. So no damage amp for doing it this way. This isn't one of the cases where it's like, oh, the buff gets smaller and then goes away as you kill one and then two mini bosses. The buff just goes away once you kill one. You could probably go and still kill the other mini boss if you didn't want to deal with the extra mob here, but the extra mob here really isn't doing that much. Almost everything it's doing is kickable, so if you just are interrupting it, then I think you're kind of free and clear. You could either focus it down because it has less health than the boss, or cleave it down if you want to be super efficient. The boss here doesn't have too much going on either. Spears are getting hurled, leaving little fun bleeds. It's jumping on somebody and mauling them until you break through a shield on the boss, and it is casting a battle shout that you kick. And other than that, you're just lava bursting away and killing the boss. It's nice vibe. There's that Savage Mauling again. Big absorb on it. Battle Cry, giving it, I think, just a damage done increase. And not too rough of a boss at all. After that boss goes down, we now can actually make our way into the Priory proper. And we have a couple pulls here that have these paladins in them. The paladins do Consecration, and the Consecration appears to do a lot of damage if you're standing in it. So let's see what this looks like here as we run in. A couple of neophytes as well that kind of seem to all buff each other. And here comes that Consecration. You can see the people with Consecration on their raid frames. Their health is just absolutely getting nuked here. So very scary to stand in the Consecration And yeah, aside from that, we've got, then you get 2 side pulls. Once you kill each of these side pulls, it's supposed to summon some mobs from up at the top of the stairs. We were kind of testing around here, doing some weird stuff for testing purposes, of course. So side pack here, deal with the side pack. I'll just skip ahead a little bit because these packs are kind of boring. Kill the side pack. The boss up there is like, okay, send some more guards down. And the guards get sent down from the top of the stairs. You can kill off this pack. And you can then head up the stairs if you want. And there you can see the other pack they're waiting to send down on the other side. You could just kill that first. Or you could try and pull the boss early, which is what we did here. So, or maybe we pulled the side pack first. Let's see what we ended up going with here. I was saying, like, what if we just drop on them? But okay, first we killed the side pack that's up at the top of the stairs. And then we were looking for a way to pull the boss. So this was quite buggy the way we did this, because this is the second boss and the last boss are both there waiting for you. And if you get in combat with them right now, they actually both fight you, but you can't target them. If you try and click, like we're trying to click here, it's like an invalid target, like an untargetable mob. So very much not supposed to be done this way. However, this happened. It's not supposed to be pulled like this, not doable. The mobs are like evading, but also just not even targetable. We're just getting murdered, everybody's dead. Okay, that's not how it's supposed to look. So we come back in and we kill that other side pack, and now the other boss is just despawned up there, and it's just the second boss, although he's like evading. Eventually we're able to pull him, we're able to get started fighting him, and this boss is just kind of a paladin guy. Drops the 3 blessed hammers that rotate out in an expanding spiral from where there's a initial target, so the idea, I guess, is probably to, get inside that as soon as you can. Also does this where it's like slowing 2 people and doing an AoE where they were. So getting out of that is going to be something you want to do, I guess, if it does a lot of damage. Or maybe you can be like, yeah, just heal me. There again, you can see those blessed hammers. So I'm just kind of waiting. And now the spiral is wide enough that I think I can get in. And now I'm safe, right? You get inside the expanding circle. Or you just get hit by them. It doesn't matter too much. The boss also casts wings here. So the boss has now got wings, which empowers some of his abilities. Gives him a big cast here, this burning light. Which we kicked. Not sure what it would do. You can see also there would be 2 expanding spirals of hammers instead of 1, but we killed the boss before we saw too much more of that. So an empowered like wings phase does happen on that fight of some kind that does make the abilities even nastier. Now we enter the final part of the dungeon, and there is a lot of mob density here. A lot of trash. Again, we have paladins, we have templars, we have priests here. The priests just get kicked. Templars don't seem to do too much, at least on normal. And the paladins drop down the nasty consecrates that do a lot of damn. So standing in that consecrate, you can see, starts really hurting everybody. It looks like these are casting like Divine Storm as well. Maybe that's the Templars doing that. So you kill off this pack, open up the next door, and beautiful, staircase here. Very cool vibe. Kind of like Diablo, the Diablo Heaven aesthetic in this area. And now you make your way into this room. This room has a lot of trash again. We were trying to pull this room by not pulling too much, but we ended up pulling more than we wanted to and wiping, which I assume will be a common pug experience in this area. You can see there's a patrol there of like 10 mobs as well that goes just all around the middle of the room. So avoiding that is probably going to be something we want to do. We have some light spawns here as well. Some mages, some priests. Again, the mages and priests, mostly just kind of free cast abilities that you'd expect for mages and priests to have. But yeah, we're kind of trying to run through here without pulling everything. Of course, when you try and run through without pulling everything, what ends up happening is you pull everything, and then in your attempt to go through the area faster, you end up going through the area much slower, and everybody dies. So this happened to us a few times in this area. It was ill-fated, common dungeon problem that you'll run into, though. So let's skip ahead again. The run back, by the way, is awful in this dungeon. Hopefully that's just an alpha thing, but right now you release at the start of the dungeon the whole way through. Eventually we're able to kind of get through, pull this area a little bit more cleanly, and then so we avoided that patrol so far for now. We're trying to avoid it. We're trying to run through and not get the patrol. We get these side pack on the stairs. We got the other side pack on the stairs. We're getting knocked back. The patrol comes in. It's an absolute fiasco. So once again, what was going on in voice comms here was like, don't pull, let's pull as little as we can. And we ended up pulling the whole room. You could pull conservatively in there and pull like half of the sides, and it would definitely be pretty doable. Like if you pulled the patrol and just hugged a wall, you could get through here without pulling too much. Or if you try and thread the needle and run through the middle, you have to have everybody on the same page for that, which we did not. So we were eventually able to get through here. We just pulled the patrol and killed it. And then we pulled the middle pack with the mini boss guy there, Sir Braun Pike, and killed it. And then we pulled the side pack on the stairs, one of the side packs, and killed it. And then, instead of hugging the left here, Dorky ran and pulled the other side pack. And so we killed that too. A lot of mysterious happenings in this dungeon. You know, these things happen though. And we finally made it to the last boss here, Prioress Merprey. Good name for, if you ever got Prey in your name, that's always a good indication that you should become a Prioress. That's a natural calling for you at that point. So, you know, good job there by the Prioress. But yeah, this fight starts off down in this lower area, and you have this beam that kind of shoots out like the second boss of Blackrock Hold, chases after people, leaves behind some nasty burning ground, and then the boss jumps up at low health up into the top part of the room, and a bunch of ads start chasing after you they come from the entrance, and you make it up to the boss. The boss has a huge shield now. It's pulsing damage on everybody. And you got a bunch of ads chasing you as well. A bunch of new ads getting spawned as well. You can see running at us. Neophytes that don't seem to do all that much by themselves. But yeah, eventually we break through and kick the boss. And now we're just fighting the boss. But up here instead, again, we have the flame like lasers coming out at people. We have, yeah, all of the side areas are now dangerous. So if we ran down there, we would die. Blinding light, you're going to want to turn away from. Here's what it looks like. I was testing. If you don't turn away from it, you get disoriented. And yeah, swirlies to dodge, the laser to dodge, burning ground to kind of try and paint the room not too badly. But that is it. That is it for the Priory of the Sacred Flame. So again, a dungeon with some pretty cool optionality in terms of how you might want to attack it. A lot of patrols, a lot of mob density, and some cool mini-boss interactions. So you could fight as many or as few of those mini-bosses as you want, depending on how they tune the count here. That's going to be pretty important as well. But that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like and sub button. Oh, you can see my desktop now in the background. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.